Oh my gosh, it is exactly 3:33 p.m. as I'm sitting down to do this reading, and you guys are about to see why that is so particularly synchronistic. So let's get right into it. So this will be a channeled message, a reading for you, for your highest good in this very safe and divine loving space. So please come on in, make yourselves nice and comfortable, and let me just get straight into this because there's a lot going on. And I know if you guys have been with me for a little while, I say that every single time, but there is actually so much going on in this reading and a lot happening. And I know that's a mirror for your lives, which means that there is a lot going on in your life right now. So let me just start off by showing you guys, I've pulled some tarot cards already, and then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna pull some oracle cards together as we go through this reading. But let me start by showing you the very bottom card of this reading. If you guys have been watching my readings, you'll know that I usually use a similar spread, and if nothing else, I always pull a bottom card and a top card, and I want to start with that. So the bottom card for me of any spread, tarot, oracle cards, whatever it is, always represents like the underlying current. You could think of it like an anchor, like the energetic current or foundation that's going to run through this entire reading, that each and every other card that we pull ties back to in some way, shape, or form. So I like to start by showing you this card so that you can keep that in mind as I'm going through the rest of the spread and sort of relate it back to that. So for the bottom card of this spread, we have the Seven of Pentacles reversed coming out. Now this card comes out when there's sort of some reassessment going on in your lives. In its upright position, the Seven of Pentacles is a man who's looking at his harvest and sort of reviewing the work that he's put in, the seeds that he's planted, and assessing what his next moves will be, and kind of just reaping the harvest of whatever he has planted. Now in its reverse, when this card comes out in reverse, it just shows me that there's somewhere in your life where you've possibly planted some seeds a while ago. And seeds, by that I could just mean maybe even set intentions, or actually taken certain action steps towards something. And now you're having these second thoughts or these doubts, or like I said, reassessment is really the big word that I'm getting with this card here. And I think I have an idea why, just based on the rest of the cards, why you might be very much reassessing your life or reevaluating things, or possibly just needing to start fresh or set some new intentions. Especially, we just had a new moon very recently. So there's a lot of this energy of like, all right, let's back to the drawing board kind of a vibe. So what was super interesting, let me get into the rest of the cards right now, is that when I pulled, I was actually just trying to pull one card at a time here, but the cards kept coming out in threes, and that's, you're starting to see why the 333, when I just started this reading at exactly 333, not on purpose at all, was so significant. And to make that even more of a synchronicity, let me show you the first three cards after the bottom card that came out. We have the Three of Pentacles, followed by, it almost seems like I'm making this up, I swear I'm not, followed by the Three of Swords, wait for it, followed by the Three of Cups. And these three cards, 3, 3, and 3, Three of Pentacles, Swords, and Cups, fell out all together at once as a triplet, as whatever, as three, a group of three. So what is happening here? First of all, let's go through these cards. The Three of Pentacles is a card of working together. You could see these three people are working together. They have what seems to be a blueprint in their hands. They appear to be building something, collaborating, and threes in general, three is the number first and foremost of creation, of birth, right? Giving birth requires two people, and they give birth to one more. So any sort of birth or creation, whether that's literally a child, or just any sort of project, it always comes from the merging of two. It's also the number, so it's birth, it's creation, but it's also teamwork, right? It's groups, any sort of clique can kind of be a 3 energy. Also keep in mind, this could quite literally, like the letter C can be very significant for somebody. Your name can start with the letter C, or this situation can be about someone whose name starts with the letter C, or that could be your last name of like a family, if that's what it's about. I'm also getting the month of March, obviously the 3rd month could be very significant. And I'm also with that 3 getting a very like 3rd eye kind of energy, even though that's the 6th chakra, the brow chakra. Yeah, I'm still getting this energy of 3rd eye. And then as well as the 3rd energy center, which is our solar plexus, which is like right in the gut. So that's some associations with 3. Now let's go back to the storyline and just see what's happening here. I'm also getting that I'm hearing that there could be like a 3rd party situation going on here. Someone's kind of butting their nose, maybe in a relationship where they shouldn't be, but there's something very shady going on, and I'll show you what I mean right now. So we start off with that 3 of Pentacles, and of course this can be, you know, building something wonderful and great and working with spirit. Like I know whenever I get this card in my own personal readings, it usually refers to cooperation between me and spirit, just because that's the work that I do. So I often get that, but it can just be, you know, collaborating in a work environment, in a team setting, or just with others in general. But it's generally quite a nice card. Now, after that, this is where things start to get a little shady, like I said, and kind of turn in a different direction for me. And this is the 3 of Swords. Now, you don't really have to be psychic or a tarot reader to get what's going on in this card. I mean, there are literally 3 swords inside a heart. This is a card of heartbreak. This is a card of betrayal in some ways. This is a card, like this is not a pretty card. Of course, this card comes with a great deal of healing, as all, you know, negative experiences in our lives always do. We're not just being punished by the universe. I firmly believe that. But it's definitely a card of hurting. Something happened here. And so it gets very weird when I see this immediately after this planning card, because there is a little bit of an energy of planning this heartbreak, or like there's sort of some plotting kind of an energy, which I don't like at all. And what makes it even shadier is that it's followed by this 3 of Cups. Now, this is a card typically of celebration. Like you could see these 3 women are literally clinking their cups, saying cheers. So it's like to have that celebration occur immediately after that heartbreak, with the plotting and the planning coming before. It's like, why are they celebrating right after this? It's not a card that I like to see in this order. And especially with that 7 of Pentacles, remember, in reverse at the bottom, where you're kind of planted these seeds and there's a reassessment happening. It's like, what, like something very, very, like I said, shady and uncomfortable about that situation with the 333. Now, what I would say is maybe good about that situation, or somewhat positive, is that the 1-3 card, right, out of the tarot, I mean, aside from like the Empress and the other 3s in the major arcana, but the one minor arcana 3 that's missing from here is the 3 of Wands. And for that reason, you know, the 3 of Wands, I don't have it with me, because like I said, it didn't come out, but the 3 of Wands is a card of, you know, establishment, like establishing with that wand, you know, planted firmly, expansion. And so the fact that it's not there kind of shows me that whatever maybe was being plotted, and again, you know, this is a group collective reading, so not, of course, what I'm saying is more general. This is, and I always say this in my readings, but you know, I'm sure you've heard me already say this is always a group activity. When you watch these readings, it's your job to take what resonates only and leave the rest for someone else if it doesn't resonate, or just, you know, do the active participation work in determining how this applies to your particular situation, if at all. Sometimes not every reading is meant for you. There might be someone who's going through some major heartbreak and healing who just really needed this reading today. So do keep that in mind. Don't make this fit. Don't start thinking like, oh, who's screwing me over? Who's plotting against me? If that doesn't feel that it's happening in your life. But there's some sort of situation that was shady. That's a hard, some sort of situation that was shady. Say that 10 times fast. Sally sells seashores by the seashore. But there's something here, again, with that third energy center, which is the solar plexus, where I do feel a boundary was either required and you didn't have that in place and you felt the repercussions of not having that boundary, aka somebody crossed a line. Or you had to create or, sort of uphold or put up a boundary with someone. The solar plexus energy center is our identity of who we are. It's our very core. And it is kind of the center of self-esteem, of boundaries, of asserting who we are, of, just our willpower and our determination and our entire, it's what drives us forward essentially toward any sort of goal. So if we have a weak solar plexus, we might have situations where people step all over us. And so that's why I keep kind of referring to that solar plexus energy, because it is situations like this, shady situation here with the celebration of that heartbreak and the plotting and whatever else was going on here, that can force you to take a second look at what you've been planting in your life, who's meant to be in your life, who's not meant to be there, and so on and so forth. And so I do feel, and the reason I guess I'm making not light of this, but I'm not overly concerned, is because I feel that this is something that has happened in the past. I almost feel that it could be like 3 months ago. It might have even been more long-term, like 3 years, but there's another sort of energy of the 3 here. Actually, this could have been in March as well, by the way. So I do feel that you've had some time to heal or to at least come to terms with that. Of course, healing is a process and it takes longer than, 5 seconds. But I do feel that this is something that already, that you're aware of the situation, okay? And the reason I say that also is because I have quite a few cards that came out after that. Like I said, every time I pulled, they happened to come out in threes, which was just crazy. I've never had a reading that just was so like 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and then sitting down at 333. It was just nuts to me. I don't think I've ever experienced that. You know what else I'm hearing with the 333? I'm hearing that like 333 is a number of divine protection, of sort of divine masters, and 33, Master Jesus, for example. So there's definitely an energy here of like rejection being divine protection or divine intervention or redirection, whatever way you want to say that. I do feel that energy strongly. But like I said, the cards were coming out in threes. And so I pulled again, a couple more times after this. And it was like, I still have, 8 cards, following this. That's why I say that I believe that this incident or this situation happened a little while ago at this point. Now, after that, and I apologize, not every card came out in threes. I'm going to go through this little storyline that's building up here. But after this came the 10 of Wands flying out in a sideways position. Now, it was very interesting because when this card is sideways, first of all, the 10 of Wands is a card of carrying burdens. This man has been carrying these sticks for a very long time. This house over here in the hills is well established, and he's sort of on his last final burden. He's quite exhausted in many ways, and he's certainly not looking where he's going. But when this card comes out in a sideways position, I almost get this feeling of like this bridge, and I just get a feeling of like people stepping on you a little bit, walking over to cross this as a bridge to get to the next series of cards, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But it's like I don't get a good vibe about this card either. It's almost like in a state of complete exhaustion. Whoever was involved in that shady situation could have walked right on you and completely, almost to the point of breaking you or causing complete burnout and exhaustion. And I'll tell you why I say that. And that's because of the cards that come out immediately after that. So after that, we have the Four of Swords card coming out along, and again, the next three cards that I'm about to show you, starting with the Four of Swords, they came out in 3 as well. So that's the Four of Swords, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Five of Swords reversed. Now, given that this 10 of Wands, I was starting to say about exhaustion, came out, followed by this. This is a super important turning point over here. I believe that what happened after that whole situation came to light, came forth, is probably that it was like a forced vacation, if you want to call it that, but not so much a vacation. A lot of introspection came from this situation, and that's why I feel that it was very divinely set up in a way. Again, not to say that there was a setup or anything like that, but it was something that you were meant to learn from. And I feel that, it kind of caused you to lose your confidence in some ways with that Queen of Wands, who's normally a very confident, charismatic, outgoing queen. And also to doubt your intuition, because the Queen of Wands is highly, highly intuitive with that black cat, normally, right? Normally upright with that black cat over here with the sunflowers pointing toward the sun. She's the life of the party, that Queen of Wands. And so when she comes out in reverse, there's, as along with the other two cards, right? The Four of Swords, which is a card of resting, of, repose and retreat and just reprieve. I'm trying to think of other R words. Did I say retreat? Yes. But it's a very spiritual card, right? With that stained glass window and sort of this meditative posture. He's not asleep at the wheel, this guy. He's deeply introspecting. Aside from the Hermit card, this is really the card of introspection. So it's almost like after this situation happened, and then, I almost feel this whole thing with this sideways card of like the straw that broke the camel's back, quite literally, followed by, the meditation card, we'll call it. Lacking that self-confidence, doubting your intuition came about. And then, with this Five of Swords card, the way that it looks when it's all laid out in the reading, it's like he's just looking over his shoulder one more time. This was obviously a battle with these gray skies. This came out in reverse. So there is a sense of like the battle was over, but there was a lot of reflection that came from that situation and that scenario. This card, of course, is not a pretty one. Again, you don't have to be a tarot reader to realize like this guy's stealing swords. He has this smug smile on his face. But the kind of, again, good thing about this is that it's sort of, it's done. The battle's done. It came out in reverse and it's done and over with. And I do feel that again, almost that period happened for like 3 months. This next set of threes, we'll call it this 1, 2, 3 card, could have been like a 3-month period or not. The 3 might not be anything to do with the dates, but there's something so strong about this 3 energy that keeps coming up. But yeah, there was something here that made you just reflect. And it's almost like with that 10 of Wands, again, that final burden, it was almost like when everything is crashing around you and all, the crap hits the fan, there was almost no place to go for you but to look within. It was like you couldn't kind of rely on anyone else around you or reach out to anyone around you after whatever happened here. I'm also getting this vibe of like a Saturn return could be very significant, or just something in your life where the wall, like where what you thought was true. How do I say this? What you always believed to be true in life or about life in general, sort of these big overarching beliefs of yours came back and they tested you. You were tested by this situation majorly. Okay, let me show you what happens after this. This is where it gets interesting, and this is what I believe represents where you guys might be finding yourselves at this moment. And this is the next set. Again, these cards came out in 3, which is still wild to me. But we have, and I'm going to show you these next three cards. So we have the Emperor upright with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, followed by the Page of Wands upright. So this is, again, what I feel to be your present position. So starting with the Emperor, let me actually just start with the Wheel of Fortune reverse, because a lot of you guys might look at that. You know, you see the two upright cards and then it's like, whoa, what is happening with that wheel? You know, this card that usually represents fortune and destiny when it's upright, when it comes out reverse, might be alarming. Now, yes, I do feel that there is some, you know, the wheel represents like the center of who we are. And the thing with the wheel is that it keeps spinning and spinning. It's always spinning. And so with this card, especially when it comes out in reverse, to me, it's extremely important that you stay grounded in who you are. And that's why I love that this card is sort of like flanked on either side by, of course, the Emperor, which is super grounded, super like with that number 4. Like this is a card of like, he's facing us directly. He's a very stable, secure card. But even the Page of Wands on the other side of that wheel, which is like he of course he's a page, he's young and youthful, but he has that wand in the ground, and it's, you know, the feather in his cap, and it's still, I like that this is like a stake in the ground on the other side. When you see these three cards together, it almost negates, or it doesn't negate sorry, it's like this with the wheel upside down, yeah, in reverse. But when you see these three cards, it's like the wheel in reverse is not as alarming when, again, it's flanked on either side by those two very stable cards. And here's what I believe, like my interpretation of this is that the wheel did turn just because it's possible that all of this crap that went on before kind of, it shook things up a little, right? It decentered, I don't know the word for that, ungrounded you, which is the wheel in reverse. And a lot of things might have happened around you because of that. But nevertheless, and here's why I love the last three cards that came out, nevertheless, you are firmly grounded. This guy has boundaries. I know what? You're not broken is what I love about this, because this coming out as that final card in that last card of 3 shows me that you're still willing to be inspired by life, to be the page, the young card who learns, who develops himself, who says, no, you know what? Like, look how he gazes at this wand, thinking almost, wow, life is still so beautiful. There's still so much for me to learn. I'm going to take this as a learning experience. That's exactly where I feel that you guys are right now. And let me tell you, that is a beautiful place to be. When you're in this Emperor Wheel of Fortune, even though it's reversed, guess what? It's going to spin back around. You don't have to worry about that. That's the wheel of life. And then still deciding, because this is a decision. These two cards, you've decided that you're going to be inspired and you're going to keep living your life in accordance with your destiny. That is a commendable place to be. Like, I want to say that I'm proud of you, because just looking at this spread, seeing what you've been through, and then seeing where you are right now, to me, I have to say, and of course, I'm channeling this from your angels as well, but just from my heart to yours, I am proud of you. And what I want to say here, and what the whole message that's coming out to me is, do not let this break you. Stay here and watch as that wheel, it has to spin back around. It does. It has to, because that's how the wheel works. That's how any wheel of life, including this Wheel of Fortune, works, okay? And here's the best part of the whole reading. I'm going to show you the last card right now that I pulled. This card I call the top card. The top card represents where we're heading, where we're going, what the point of all of this was, right? We have that bottom card to show us the underlying energy. Well, the top card, in much the same way, shows us the overarching goal or aim or direction of everything that went on. And let me show you what this card is, you guys. I saved the best for last here. We have the Two of Cups. Yes, 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 yes. This card is the most beautiful card than I can imagine you getting at the very top, because this is you coming back home to yourself, coming back into harmony, back into alignment, right? We have this kind of angel here to represent Raphael. This is a card of healing. But healing, you know, and you know, of course, this is a caduceus, but it also looks like a DNA strand, you know, naturally, as the caduceus is meant to in some ways. And it's like you are coming back into harmony with yourself. And for some of you guys, of course, this could represent romantic love coming in, but I just feel that this in particular, right? It's not the Lover's card. This is the Two of Cups. This is you coming back into harmony and alignment with yourself. So all of this, like I said, everything that happened, it did not break you. It did not break you. In fact, it only served to bring you closer to your real self. Like, to me, when I saw this reading come out, I genuinely stopped everything I was doing and ran to record this reading, because this is the good stuff. This is real, deep inner work, and I am so proud of you, and you should be too. I hope that you watch this reading and you understand what I mean, and you think back to your situation and you recognize what you've done for yourself. Not everybody would do this. A lot of people would actually stay stuck in here and just focus and replay this, and you didn't. You learned from this, even despite everything, whatever happened, if it was actually someone plotting against you, which I pray and hope it wasn't, or if it was just, you know, people being people and not, you know, understanding how to be normal people and kind people, right? And then all their ego stuff coming up. Whatever it was, in any capacity, you have truly done the real spiritual work, in my opinion. And this is the channeling and the message that's coming through. So with that in mind, this is just such a beautiful message today. I'm gonna go ahead. We are going to pull a card from the Archangel deck. And I also want to pull a card from the Gateway of Light Activation Oracle. I think I'm going to do that one first. Let's do that one first. Let's do them together. Okay. So let's ask our angels and our team of light to just show us with this card what we need to know at this point in our perfect journey. Wow, okay. Sorry, I always do that. I look at the card for myself. I forgot to show you. Okay, so this is the card that came out. Oh, this is so incredible. This card is called Starbeing Healing Codes. It says important information, wounds are healed, recharging. I mean, how perfect is that? Wounds are healed is my favorite part of this, because that's exactly what it is. You, and especially with that Two of Cups card coming out, this is the healing aspect, and these are the wounds that I'm seeing here. So amen to this card. I'm gonna go ahead and read it from the guidebook here, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory already at this point. So let's see. Starbeing Healing Codes. Okay. So there are many names for star beings, such as ETs, star people, star ancestors, sky people, and more. Whatever they are called, they are divinely inspired, evolved beings existing in dimensions that we cannot even comprehend. They are the overseers of the cosmos and, like angels, are divine expressions of the heart of Source, who are dedicated to the well-being of the entire universe. They aren't limited by time or space, for they are from a higher dimension. Their frequency healings are received on a spiritual level and can then move through our energy centers to affect the physical. These cosmic beings are our interplanetary cousins and are now coming to many souls on Earth in support of healing, expansion, and harmony. Star beings exist in multiple forms and come from many different universes, but this card is a gateway that transports us to one of their healing sanctuaries. It is a gateway that opens to many different star beings, and so it doesn't stipulate which cosmic race is coming to us, but we will be receiving healing codes directly from cosmic guides. Wow. The healing can be emotional, physical, or spiritual. However it comes, know that it's a great blessing. Oh my goodness, wow. Okay, so then here's the connection that Kyle, and again, this is by Kyle Gray, this deck, that Kyle provides. So say the following: thank you, star beings of healing, for placing your hands of light upon my being and guiding me back to my whole and healed self. Wow. For some reason that really hit me. Whew. I'm gonna say that again. Thank you, star beings of healing, for placing your hands of light upon my being and guiding me back to my whole and healed self. And here's the extended message. If the world seems overwhelming or intense at this time, know that it's okay for you to retreat to a safe place to cleanse and recharge your energy. You may feel called to be a healer for others and share healing with the world, but please ensure you are balanced and filled up with light first. This is not the time for you to sacrifice your own well-being in order to serve others. Light beings are placing their hands upon you now, filling you with divine light that will wash away any blockages or stagnant energy standing in the way of your freedom and wholeness. Star beings are channeling healing codes and frequencies into your being, and it's important for you to stay alert and for any intuitive guidance about your body so you can be restored to health once more. Yeah, that's the message. There's a major energy of healing swooping in right now. Yeah. I'm really happy that this card came out that really summarizes everything again, especially the part about wounds being healed. I feel that's the major theme here. So let's just go ahead and get one more message from, this is going to be from the 22 Archangels Oracle deck, also by Kyle Gray. And this is going to be, we're just going to ask for the Archangel who can really help us the most with this healing right now to come forth. And you guys might notice by the way that I have one card in here that has a different back. It's because I went out with some friends and brought my Oracle deck, and we were on a balcony using these cards, and Uriel went flying out. And I smile at it because I just imagine that, like, because we were at a hotel, that somebody on a different floor got that Uriel card like landing on their porch and was like, just needed it. It makes me smile when I think of that. But so I took Uriel from a different deck that I have, the Angel Prayers deck, and I put him in here, so we have all 22. But don't worry, I'm gonna wait for the card to fly out so I'm not like influenced by the different back or anything like that. Okay, or maybe I'll just close my eyes when I do it, but just wanted to explain that in case someone's like, cheater. Oh, perfect. Wow, okay, so we already have a card that flew out. Can you guys guess what it is? I can, because I'm looking at it. Michael. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, what else do I say? Wow, just looked up at exactly 33 minutes, but it's like, Michael, the healer, the one who cuts the cords, who protects us. This card says spiritual acceleration. You are experiencing spiritual upgrades. Move forward. With Michael, it's like there's not even much left to say. So I am just going to leave it at that. But Michael, yeah, Archangel Michael is here with you and helping you through this. So there is literally nothing to fear, guys. So that's the message for today. I feel that everything has been said, and I feel really happy, excited, and very, very, very in awe and proud of you. And you should feel the same about yourself. So that's all for this message for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this helped, and I will see you in the next reading. Thanks. Bye.